So this doesn't look like a usual morning huddle for us. It's my sincere pleasure to open the huddle by welcoming some very special guests. I'll let Saurabh do the formal introduction, but I would ask you to join me in welcoming Mr. Brad Dogood, Minister of Economic Development and Growth. The Ontario government has invested significantly in us through the Honourable Brad Dogood's ministry in, excuse me, in helping us to grow our technology and infrastructure. And it's very special to have you here, Minister, and particularly today, and you may be here when we do this, but we are welcoming a number of software developers to our team this morning. Sorry, no water. I will pass it on to Saurabh before stealing his thunder. But again, Minister, thank you for being here, Saurabh.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm just going to provide a brief presentation about the program that we're here to celebrate today. And to get started, what I'd really like to do is I'd like to provide a bit of a background on sort of what's brought us here today. So at the early stages of our inception, in the humble beginnings, we started off as a single-purpose solution. It was all about bringing knowledge to the point of care. And that was our origins. It's about the digital order sets that we have. And through that time, we were then able to expand and grow significantly. We started off as a single-purpose solution, but over the years, our clients have been asking for more solutions, not only that bring care to the front line, but also to connect the various different systems that exist. So what started off as a small organization out of Mississauga, Ontario, has now grown to almost 200 people today. And we've expanded not just within the acute care system, which is where our humble beginnings were, but to long-term care and most recently to primary care. This growth is not without its challenges that we've learned a lot over the last 11 plus years. Okay. These challenges aren't just challenges for us, but these challenges exist for the broader system out there. Okay. Right now, as it stands, there are significant barriers to entry for new entrants within the system. It's very, very difficult to bring products to market. And even if you can bring products to market, it becomes very difficult to actually scale them, to bring them to adoption. Right? The healthcare system is very, very complicated. And if we can bring products to the market, we then need to be able to measure them and make sure we're reflecting the impact of these products appropriately so we can continuously learn from them again and again and again. These challenges exist today. And while we have come a long way, we still continue to face these challenges. Our vision for the future is to expand and scale the entry point platform. Excuse me. So expand and scale the entry point platform. And the platform right now, as it stands, does a lot. It not only connects the systems that are deployed within it, it also helps to connect two systems within the healthcare space. But the evolution of this platform is not just the platform as a service, and this is where the Jobs and Prosperity Fund comes in. What we want to do now with this brand new program is expand the scope of our entry point platform to not only include the platform-specific services, but to take that beyond and help to tackle various different problems that exist for all innovators within Canada and globally. And this is to take the platform and convert it into an infrastructure as a service solution as well. And that accounts for not just the software side, not just the data side, not just the security side, but all aspects of infrastructure, which are very, very, very challenging. Our team has been working for years to try to bring us up to a stage where we're not only trusted, but respected across the Canadian healthcare system. And now we're in a good position to try to grow that. This is going to allow us to focus on the key priorities of the Jobs and Prosperity Fund, which is to not only be a productive organization for us, but to allow and enable productivity across Canada, allow us to grow innovation across Canada, and most importantly, take our lessons learned from here and scale it out across the world as well. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to thank Minister Dogood for the opportunity to participate in the Jobs and Prosperity Fund. I'm going to welcome him up here to say a few words. Minister Brad Dogood currently serves as Ontario's Minister of Economic Development and Growth. He's also served as the Minister of Training, Colleges and University, Minister of Energy, Minister of Labour, and Minister of Aboriginal Affairs as well. Okay. He has also held positions under Ontario's economic development portfolio on multiple occasions, and maintains a commitment to creating jobs, promoting Ontario as a smart place to invest, building a culture of entrepreneurship, and growing a strong, innovative economy. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Brad Dugan.
Is that your personal emails coming in there? Well, thank you, folks. It's great to be here this morning, although I have to say that when Toronto wins championships like the Argos did last night, we really ought to all get the next day off, if you ask me, because I don't know about you guys, I'm feeling just a little bit tired today. Some of you may be football fans, some of you may not be, but it's great to be here, and what a diverse-looking group of people. And let me start off by saying one of the challenges I think we've seen in the tech sector has been getting gender equality in a business, and I just look around, and I see that happening here, and I just want to say to your leaders, congratulations for getting that right, and a big round of applause, because this is one of the most diverse workplaces I've seen anywhere in Ontario, in particular in the tech sector. So that's something everyone in this room can be very, very proud of. So big round of applause for that. And you also have a dog in the premises, which I got to post with Jackson. So let me start off by saying, Sachin, that this what I'm about to announce is completely contingent on Sachin being retained here. So there's going to be a job guarantee. We usually have accountability mechanisms when we make these types of announcements. Our accountability, I'm going to ask our staff to go back and make sure that Jackson's got good job security. So even over you. So if you leave, Jackson has to stay. Starting to sound like Mackenzie King. I don't know if anybody knows that story. He used to talk to his dog about he was a former Prime Minister of Canada. Some of you are pretty young, so you might know. Well, I wasn't around when he was around either, so who am I trying to kid? But I'm delighted to be here. I'm more than delighted. I'm really jacked up to be here with you today, because today marks a new era of our Jobs and Prosperity Fund. And it goes back to a meeting that we had sometime in the last year. I don't remember exactly when, and many months ago now, probably over 6 months ago. I think it was last spring, because I remember we were outside on a patio, not drinking. We were out having some coffees with Sachin, and I don't know, Sarab might have been there. Mark was there, and Charles Finley, my chief of staff, was there, and I think he knew you guys back in your school days. For some time. And Charles had said, you got to meet these guys. They've got this amazing company, this great idea, something that's revolutionizing our healthcare system, and you really got to get to know these guys. So great. I love meeting our young up-and-coming entrepreneurs and our startup giants that are, I think, really the seeds of the future of this province and our new economy. So before that meeting took place, we had gone through what I would call almost a regenesis of our economic development strategy. Look, things were going well in Ontario. I mean, you look at where we're at today, we've got among the lowest unemployment rates we've seen in 17 years. We've created something like 800,000 net new jobs since the global recession. We're leading the G7 in growth and have been for the last 3 years. This is a really cool time to be the Minister of Economic Development. And at this point in time, our traditional economic development strategies had paid off very well for us. So we could have sat back and sort of rode this wave going into that election next spring saying, hey, things are good in Ontario. But what we recognize, just like you guys is that our economy is changing so fast. In fact, it's disrupting each and every single day. There's not one part of our economy, not one sector in our economy that's not in a full-fledged state of technological disruption today. And we need to make sure that if we're going to fulfill our responsibility to pass on to the next generation an economy that's going to serve their needs, that's going to create those future jobs, that's going to grow that future Ontario economy, so Ontario can continue to be a global leader in terms of economic growth. We're going to have to be a very significant part of that technological disruption. In fact, I often would say that if we're not leading that disruption, we're going to get run over by it. So that required a whole rethink of everything we did. We completely remodeled our economic development department. It looks more like a startup than it does a government department now. And I dare say there's probably not a government department anywhere in the world that looks anything like our economic development and growth ministry today. We looked at where are the areas where Ontario is strong. And we recognize that we do have the capability of leading the world in technological disruption in a number of areas. So let's make sure we invest in those areas. And that's where our business growth initiative came out of. That's why we're doubling down with the creation of the Vector Institute and investing in AI in the province. That's why we're investing to make Ontario a leader in the development of autonomous and connected vehicles. That's why we're investing in quantum technology, because we're a global leader in that. But if we don't keep investing, if we don't keep growing that, we're going to lose our place as a leader. So we've invested in quantum technology, in supercomputing, in cybersecurity, among many other areas that are really important that we're leading the world in, or close to leading the world in, that we sort of had to double down in. So that was a total change to our economic development strategy. The second thing we had, the second tool we had, was our Jobs and Prosperity Fund. It had been put to very good use. We've created over 170,000 jobs since the global recession through our Jobs and Prosperity strategy. So it had been working in the traditional economy. But what we recognized is companies like Think Research were too new to qualify under these strategies. We're set up differently than the traditional investments that we were making. And what we also recognized is companies like Think Research are our economic future. These are the companies that we need to see grow, and we want them to grow here in Ontario, here in Canada. And that's what our discussion was about over a coffee. I think it was at Aroma, nice healthy restaurant, if I recall, is how do we keep our companies here so that the talent, the great talent that you're recruiting that's driving this company forward can be accommodated here in the province and not be shuffled down to the valley or bought out by another big company before you reach your peak. My hope is that you will grow and become a huge multinational company ultimately from here in Ontario. You're going global now, and I have every reason to believe that's going to happen. But you never know, at some point there could be a sale of a company like this. And if that happens, fine, but let's grow it to a point where you're reaching your peak and all of you here can benefit from it to the max. So that's why I'm so excited about the announcement that I'm about to make today. So you're first off the mark. You're the first growth company, I believe, that our Jobs and Prosperity Company is investing in. So I want to congratulate you for that. And today, I'm absolutely thrilled to announce that the province is providing support in the following way. We're dedicating a grant of $5 million to the Jobs and Prosperity Fund to Think Research for an overall investment by Think Research of $48.88 million. Congratulations, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this. And that round of applause isn't for us. That round of applause is for all of you and working in partnership with us. It's going to create 228 new jobs, retain 130 jobs here. And I know those figures are general because you're moving so fast and you're hiring people so fast. I think I came up the elevator with 3 or 4 people who's here on their first day? I know that there's some folks that are here. I say that there's about 6 people. What a great first day. Congratulations. I saw your names on the welcoming board on the way in, so that's fantastic. So between you and Jackson and the lot of you here, I do think you represent Ontario's economic future. What an exciting company to be with. What an exciting company to be working with. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you for doing us the honor of being able to invest with you. Thank you.
Minister Duguid, thank you for coming today. Thank you for bringing Charles to see where we are as a company at this stage of our growth and where, with the investment of your government, we hope to be in the next year and 2 years. And we would be very grateful if you and Charles would come back in that time to see what your investment has done for our growth. Thank you.